palace came with the ingredients Pierre had ordered before.
এদিকে এদিকে আসো 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 Sit.
1 week
Good
passed.
girl.
The Duke's bodyguard visited him again and gave him a letter saying that the Duke wanted to advance the feast to the next day.
Stay.
That news shocked him and made him pessimistic. He wasn't
Hey,
sure if he could prepare
যাবে
everything
না।
by tomorrow.
যাবে।
But confidently, Louise assured that by the next day, everything would be ready.
Shade
When
light.
the delegation left, Pierre got mad at Louise. He said that she shouldn't interfere because she was not the one cooking the dishes, but him. In the middle of the debate, suddenly,
Hey,
they heard the sound
touch.
of barrels falling. When they came to
Touch.
check, they were shocked to see Jacob crushed by the barrels, killing him with serious injuries. After Jacob's funeral, Pierre ordered the rest to get back to their work. They must immediately complete the preparations for the smooth running of the event the next day. Even at night, Pierre was still cooking. He doesn't care anymore that the kitchen was a mess as long as he could finish the preparations
Hey.
before the Duke and his friends arrived.
ওরে
When he checked the warehouse, he found Benjamin sitting alone. He asked his father why he kept cooking even though they had just lost Jacob that afternoon. Pierre said that even though he didn't cry, it didn't mean that he wasn't sad. He said that
দাঁড়াও,
no matter what happened,
যখন
to them,
বলবো
they
তখন
had to
খাবে।
keep working because there was not much time left for them
Go.
to finish the job.
যাও
While arguing, Benjamin
খা।
accidentally nudged the oil and caused a fire. They tried to save as much as they could and finally managed to put out the fire. After the fire was put out, Louise treated Pierre's hand, which had been burnt during the incident. Pierre was sad about this condition because he
Dada.
thought that he wouldn't be able to finish the preparations on time. It would be near impossible for him to
Dada.
cook because of his injury.
আমি এখনো বলিনি
Louise tried to cheer
যাও
him up and said that there were still 9 more hours before the Duke came. All he needed to do was to believe in her. The next morning, both Pierre and Louise started cooking together.
Relax. Good
When
girl.
he saw Louise seriously listening to his instructions, he was amazed by her once again. Soon after that, the maids from the palace came. They started decorating Pierre's yard immediately. When everyone was busy, Louise secretly put poison in one of the dishes. Just as the preparations for the event were finished, the group arrived at Pierre's house, but strange enough, they didn't stop. Right after, Pierre received a letter containing the cancellation of the party. Before that, the Duke thought that Pierre's house was a decent place, but it turned out to be a small hut. He was embarrassed and chose another place. Louise was very angry. She was angry that she ruined the decoration, but suddenly her anger immediately changed to worry, seeing Benjamin almost eat the food she put poison in before. She then threw it away. Seeing Louise's strange attitude rose Pierre's suspicion. Inside the house, when Pierre was alone with Louise, he again forced her to confess. Because she was cornered, Louise finally admitted the secret that she had been hiding all this time. The reason Louise wanted to become Pierre's disciple was actually to kill the person who had destroyed her life. Long ago, before meeting Pierre, Louise was the wife of a wealthy nobleman and her husband had been business partners with the Duke of Chanford for a long time, until one day, the Duke fell in love with Louise and then seduced her. She rejected his love and made him angry. In desperation, he killed Louise's husband and even took away all of her belongings. Since that time, she had revenge on the Duke and tried everything he could to avenge him. The story made Pierre very disappointed and drove her away from his house. The next day, Benjamin tried to stop Louise from leaving while Pierre, whose heart was still disappointed, wanted to go somewhere to calm down. Unfortunately, because he couldn't ride a horse, he instead fell and was dragged by his horse. As a result of the incident, he was badly injured. Louise felt pity for him and decided not to leave and stayed to take care of Pierre until one day, when his wounds had healed,
এদিকে
Pierre heard a ruckus from outside the
এদিকে
house.
আসো
When he checked, there were a lot of
Padre.
soldiers beating inside and outside of his house.
Padre,
Suddenly,
এদিকে,
Louise showed
Padre.
up and told him that just in the morning, a group of soldiers passing by asked for food. She then took
See?
the initiative to cook a recipe that Pierre taught her. It turned out that the soldiers liked it. They even asked for more food and
Go.
paid more money. Because of the hassle, Louise had to hire orphanage children to help her. After the soldiers left, Louise said that selling delicious food turned out to be more profitable instead of just cooking for the aristocrats. She suggested Pierre open a place where they could serve people food like the aristocrats. Pierre didn't agree and immediately kicked Louise out of there, but when Benjamin told him that it was Louise